choose your superpower. We're going to be presented with 4 random superpowers, and we're going to have to pick which one is the best. Let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 1, Fertilizing Blood. The ability to possess blood with fertilizing properties. Number 2, Primariness Manipulation. The power to manipulate what is primary to someone. Number 3, Molecular Oscillation. The ability to vibrate molecules at a high frequency. Number 4, Purple Fire Vision. The power to generate beams of purple fire from the eyes. First instinct, Primariness Manipulation is probably the best. But we're going to have to look into this a little bit more because none of these are jumping out as absolutely fantastic. Fertilizing Blood. The capabilities, the user possesses blood that can induce fertilities in things, plants, animals, soil, etc. What else? Fertile blood. So essentially, all I can see with this is your blood induces fertilizing properties, makes it, fertile. I guess it's kind of all right there in the name, but not really much else. Our example image right here is Hellboy dripping blood, and then flowers are blooming. Okay, that's not really fertilizing, that's growth inducement, so that's not incredibly helpful for us. However, let's say that we take this at its word, and we'll try to apply this in the most impressive way we can. Well, you'd be wonderfully useful in any sort of in vitro fertilization. You could absolutely open up a fertility clinic. So that's great. Yeah, you could do that. And you could help a lot of people with that because there's a lot of people who, want to have kids and can't. So, fantastic. Plants, you would be able to make soil fertile, although realistically on the scale that you would need to make fertile soil to grow things in and all that kind of stuff, you don't have enough blood in your body. You realistically don't. Even if all it takes is like a drop of blood to I prick my finger, I touch some lady on the tum-tums, and there she goes. Now she can have kids. Okay, that's impressive. Now, do I have to open a vein and, pour out a pint to, fertilize a field? Or can it be the same thing? Like, I prick my finger, drop it in the middle of, some, I don't know. Let's say, let's say we go to a desert. I drip a drop of blood into the middle of the Sahara Desert, and it instantly turns into fertile farmland. Okay, that's super impressive. To me, I think that's maybe going a little bit too far, but you know what? We're trying to make this as impressive as possible. So let's go with that. Let's say that one drop of your blood can fertilize anything that you want it to. Okay. So, yeah, that's probably realistically how I would use it. I would go into, a desert. I would go into some, war-torn nation or some sort of, really, bereft place. And, okay, we make it fertile. That might have some other geopolitical consequences because, let's say that I go into Afghanistan or, Iraq or something like that. And, okay, drop of blood, your desert is now, a forest. Or at the very least, Great Plains of America, there's grass, there's dirt and all that kind of stuff. That's actually much more difficult to get drilling stuff through. So, you're going to extract oil at a much greater cost, and therefore maybe it's going to throw off the economy. But all in all, maybe it's a good thing. All right, so this is very good for if you want to be a farmer or if you wanted to be a fertility clinic manager. You'd be the best in the world. So yeah, other than that, this is completely useless in, I think, 99% of any sort of higher echelon magic world, sword and sorcery, sci-fi stuff. Kind of not good for any of those types of things. You would be immediately dead in any kind of 40K-esque scenario with this. In fact, you would be tied up and basically probably have a living death for tens of thousands of years while they extract your blood to feed people on hive worlds. So, number 2, we move on. Primariness Manipulation. Manipulate what is primary to someone. I'm not getting that immediately, but let's see. User can manipulate what is primary to someone, as in primary or main tools, weapons, objects, ways of doing something, primary or main course of action, etc. The user can affect why it is their primary means of something and how they utilize something. This seems obviously super powerful because a general manipulation power is always very useful, just because of the the adaptability that you're given. This one is going to be mainly based on your imaginative properties, your imaginative capabilities, what you can do with this. Okay, again, let's look at the example. 12 steps, Rocco's Modern Life controls what is primary to being cured of a bad habit, admitting to the problem in order for it to be fixed. Okay, I guess you could more or less move around okay, what is, what is primary to me succeeding as a YouTuber? I post this video. Bam, okay, and now I'm primary. Okay, so I did that. That's the first cause, and therefore, there you go. That's the main thing to do. And then you would basically get the result that you wanted from that, or at the very least, you would get the primary result that you wanted. I think that's doable. I think that's a reasonable interpretation of this power. Literally, this is from one example, 12 Steps, Rocco's Modern Life. That does not help me. That really does not help me at all. All right, action manipulation, attack movement, concept. I think, yeah, realistically, this is just going to be limited by your imagination. I can't think of anything really impressive to do with this off the cuff right here, right now. But I think I would still place my bets on this. Even though it's not actually seeming fantastic, we're not able to come up with great examples like we were with this, with Fertilizing Blood. But I would still take the gamble on this, realistically. So we'll move on to number 3, Molecular Oscillation. Pretty much what it says. Flash, can vibrate the molecules of living, including themselves, and non-living matter at high speeds with various effects, passing through or harden other molecules. I've never seen them harden other molecules. That I've definitely never seen that. Yeah, because you can't. You're not. This does not say that you're able to slow down molecular oscillation. You're not able to basically make things more solid. In that sense, you're kind of only moving at higher frequencies, which is obviously also going to heat things up. So you do have some sort of, thermal manipulation, or realistically, you're kind of just heating stuff up. That's about it. Now, that's not nothing. That's actually very impressive, especially if you have a high degree of control over it. Yeah, heating things up, assuming that you're able to do that at the molecular level, and you're therefore able to manipulate molecules and these types of things, you'd be able to break some stuff up. You would be able to potentially catalyze and carry out some chemical reactions, assuming that you knew how to do it. You could potentially do something like that. In terms of combat ability, this is probably the best. I mean, certainly the most obviously good and applicable. We're also going to say that this probably has some sort of phasing ability. Let's see if it says anything about that. I'm guessing it does. Invisibility, internal intangibility, yeah. So I'm going to say that this is pretty decent for all of that type of stuff. And therefore, yeah. I mean, this is a solid second choice, and realistically, again, this is probably better, or at least more of a sure bet. I'm still willing to gamble on this, but molecular oscillation is pretty good. It's pretty decent. Now, purple fire vision. Is this, okay, purple fire? Is that just fire that's purple? Is it just normal, like a bonfire that just happens to be purple? Okay, it's fire that had, some chemicals thrown into it. That's purple. Now, it's not like, you got Sasuke, Amaterasu, black fire. It's black, not because there's a chemical reaction, but because it's super duper, incredibly, overly destructive, and there's some extra mystical properties in there. And you can only fire it from your eyes. Not nothing, but also kind of not good. I mean, there's no adaptability here. I don't see any particular real world usage of this, which is always something to look for. Yeah. Again, let's try to think of this in the most impressive way we possibly can. And you've got fire from your eyes. I guess you'd never get cold, but again, molecular oscillation can also do that. Purple fire vision, therefore, is just a crappier version, less impressive, less adaptable, less comprehensive version of molecular oscillation. I feel like you could easily just, shoot fire from your eyes with molecular oscillation. If you just, vibrate oxygen molecules fast enough, they're going to spontaneously combust in the air, and you can just do a line of sight of, molecular oscillation to whatever your target is. So, yeah, this is the bottom of the barrel. This has got to be our worst. This has got to be number 4, terrible, garbage. Can't do it. So, in conclusion, unless I'm mistaken, the more I think about molecular oscillation, the more I'm like, this is definitely the more sure bet. And if you're going into a dangerous situation, this is probably what you would want to pick. I'm still going to bet on my ability to figure out some impressive way to use primariness manipulation. I think I could do something with it. What is primary to someone? I'm going to ignore this. Yeah, I'm going to ignore the primary to someone. I'm just going to use primariness as the main thing. And therefore, what do I think of as primary? First cause, and then effect. So maybe you could even potentially mess with cause and effect with this, which is obviously incredibly powerful. Action manipulation, attack movement manipulation. Yeah, okay, you could definitely do something with that. Like, all right, the first thing you do before you punch is you push off with your foot. Okay, well, I'm gonna change that up, and the first step to punching someone is punching yourself in the face as hard as you possibly can. Or, I don't know, stabbing yourself. Okay, yeah. So if this guy's gonna try to punch me, he's gonna stab himself first. Yeah, okay. This is getting more and more interesting the more I'm thinking about it. But again, that was the whole point. This is more of an imagination game. And yeah, I think I'm still going to go with primariness manipulation. Yeah, okay, so that's number 1, primariness manipulation. Number 2, molecular oscillation. I would be completely forgivable if this is your choice. Fertilizing blood, very actually impressive for real world applications. For other worlds, for, any kind of, place where bad things can happen to good people for no reason very easily with, monsters and other entities beyond human understanding. This is terrible. This is absolutely a horrific ability that you would need to hide at all costs because you would immediately be kidnapped and subject to just, unending torture as they harvest your blood. So this is kind of this is a double-edged sword right here. Purple fire vision, no, come on, no one's picking this. This is pathetic. This is completely useless. I don't like it at all. So with all of that, what did you choose? Like, comment, subscribe if you want. And I shall say sayonara, see ya after. I applaud you for making it to the end of the video. Farewell.